Hello everybody, my dear English-speaking followers, clients, friends, astrology lovers. Here is Olga Vasilchuk from sunny Costa Rica, from rainy Costa Rica. It's going to rain very soon, this afternoon. Hope you are doing well. I would like to present you the analysis of the transit planetary aspects for the month of July 2020. First of all, we have to mention the retrograde movements of a couple of planets. Several planets. We know that Mercury is retrograde at this moment, and it will be retrograde until July 12. Neptune is retrograde since June 22 until November 28. Saturn is retrograde since May 11 until September 29. Jupiter is retrograde since May 14 until September 13. And Pluto is retrograde since April 25 until October 4. Other planets are direct, are in their direct movement. What are the background, important background phenomena, aspects, ingressions of the month? We finally say goodbye to the season of the 3 eclipses and to the retrograde phases of the fast planets. Mars and Venus are direct, and Mercury will get direct on the 12th of July. But the social and slow planets are still in their retrograde phases. Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. Also, the general background energy will be formed by the opposition of the signs of Capricorn and Cancer, because in the middle of the month, the Sun in Cancer will be in opposition to Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn in Capricorn. Mars is extremely active in Aries because it's in the sign of its rulership. It will be easy for us, thanks to the transit of Mars by Aries, to act boldly and impulsively, but frivolity will not be welcome. We have to control our impulsiveness and our actions not to hurt other people, right? Don't act too quickly. Think before act. Before acting. Another phenomena, the background aspect and very important phenomena, astrological event of the month of July 2020 is the full moon and the lunar eclipse in Capricorn on the 5th of July. This is the last in the series of the eclipses on the axis Cancer-Capricorn that were formed in these signs, Cancer-Capricorn, since July 2018. This eclipse will be the final eclipse of the 2-year cycle of the lunar nodes. You know that the lunar nodes are already in Gemini-Sagittarius since May 5, right? The 5th of May. But we always name the eclipses by the signs where we have the luminaries. So the moon will be in Capricorn, the sun in Cancer. The nodes they are already in Sagittarius, Gemini, but we call the upcoming eclipse by the lunar eclipse in Capricorn, because this is the sign of the moon, where will be the moon during the full moon and the eclipse. Other things, since Jupiter and Saturn returned from Aquarius in the preceding sign into Capricorn, being in their retrograde phases, a stellium of slow planets will be formed again in Capricorn. Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto will stay in Capricorn, and they will create the astrological weather until mid-December, until Jupiter and Saturn re-enter Aquarius. As I said, in the end of June, Mars entered Aries, and it will be in the sign until January 2021, because in the second half of 2020, Mars will be retrograde. Mars in Aries is strong because it's in the sign of its rulership, and it will stimulate us to energetic and active work in the team, in the manifestation of our personal initiative, in the situations of self-defense. We will boldly set radically new goals. We will ignite and inspire others with our determination and drive. The conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto will be formed we will feel its impact during the entire month of July, even until the beginning of August 2020. We know that on June 30, we experienced the second exact conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn, the second conjunction of this year. The 2 planets are in retrograde phase at this moment, I remind you. The first encounter of these planets took place in April. It was on the 29th of March, when we were involved in the unstoppable spread of the pandemic of the virus, right, in the world. We are now facing the second wave of rise, of expansion, Jupiter, of the potentially fatal disease, Pluto. But now we have more experience and resources, in particular a large number of researchers and scientists who are working on finding ways to combat this virus. The retrograde movement of Jupiter and Pluto during their second conjunction points at what is happening in a hidden way under the surface or behind the curtains, behind the scenes. And we have to show the wisdom to be able to transform the situation. Perhaps the virus is not only COVID-19, but also other uncontrollable fears that constrain us and create a regime of panic. Since Jupiter and Pluto will meet in their direct phase for the last time, the third time and the last time in November 20, it would be interesting to observe the metamorphosis of the potential for liberation and rebirth that this planetary duo offers us. Now, what about other major important aspects of the month? On July 1st, the Sun was in conjunction with the Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Maybe we remembered our mistakes, some unconscious impulses, and we wanted to correct them, to do work on mistakes. Yeah, because I'm late. Today is the 2nd of July. This aspect was formed yesterday. The same day, yesterday, the 1st of July, there was the ingression of Saturn into Capricorn. Saturn, after 3 critical months in Aquarius, which were kind of a test, returns temporarily in the sign of Capricorn, which he rules, to stay there for almost 6 months. Saturn in Capricorn is strengthened because it's in the sign of its rulership, and this transit will give us endurance, focus, discipline, responsibility. He will enter Aquarius again on December 16. So the 5th of July, the full moon and the lunar eclipse in 1338 of Capricorn, 044 Montreal, 644 Paris. This eclipse will bring career changes, will mark the completion of a certain stage in work, or will provoke even a change of work. It is the moment of the result. Any full moon is the moment of the result when we decide if we are going in the right direction. We could experience the breach of agreements, the cessation of the end of cooperations, or at least the revision of their previous conditions. We will also face a dilemma. Which area should be privileged? Personal affairs, household affairs, family, the Sun in Cancer, or professional tasks and career, the Moon in Capricorn. But it is more important to determine in which houses of your chart the axis of the full moon and the eclipse is projected. In these areas of life, you will have to seek compromise and balance. In any case, the crisis caused by the lunar eclipse will lead to inevitable changes in the areas of life concerned. Check the houses of your chart where the eclipse is projected. It will provoke the reset of old scenarios and the complete restart of the system. The main thing is not to resist these changes, and above all, to carefully monitor, control emotional reactions in order to adequately respond to external challenges. July 8, Mercury retrograde is in square with Mars, a tense aspect between 2 personal planets. This can lead to the desire to impose our ideas to others, which can lead to conflicts or misunderstandings. In communication, try to take into account the interest of those around you. By the way, these aspects will repeat for the second time on July 27, when Mercury will be already in its direct phase. So on July 12, Mercury will become direct in 0529 of Cancer, and starting from this moment in the spheres of Mercury, which were slowed down, the movement will start again gradually. In the middle of the month, we have 3 tense aspects of the Sun. Sun opposition Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. So in the middle of the month, the Sun will oppose the heavy planets in Capricorn, Jupiter and Pluto on July 14 and 15, and Saturn on July 20. It will be a difficult, intense, and conflictual period when situations test our life values and our positions. We will have to choose between our personal convictions, the Sun, and what the great system, the bigger systems of life impose on us: society, country, laws, planet, world, space. The confrontation between the Sun and Pluto defines a period of protest, disagreements, disobedience, and even destruction. So it's better to direct this energy in a constructive channel towards something positive, yes, and constructive. And the confrontation of Saturn with the Sun will put us in a tight, will place us within tight frameworks and limitations. We will have to submit to the supreme will. In what sense? Respecting the laws, discipline, and order, as well as becoming more systemic and responsible, which will help us to overcome this critical crisis situation. However, and fortunately, almost simultaneously on July 12, the Sun forms a trine with Neptune, which will help to ease the tense situation and will fill us with the inspiration and love. We will remember supreme values, dedication, and self-sacrifice, sometimes necessary to help the world and other people. This time is suitable for engaging in meditative practices, in any energy work that aims to harmonize your space. And the new moon on the July 20 in 28-27 of Cancer, 1332 Montreal, 1932 Paris, is in a position to Saturn, because the new moon, the conjunction Sun, Moon in Cancer, will be at the same time in a position to Saturn, right? The new lunar month will receive the impetus of tensions and emotional limitations. Probably, possibly, new rules will be introduced which will increase obstacles, most likely in relation with the pandemic. We will see the contradiction between our own needs, the Sun, and personal responsibilities, Saturn. There's a risk of being in a situation where it's difficult for us to obey the law, to be disciplined, when we show an immature attitude towards parents, when we want to move away from partnership obligations. And during this new moon in Cancer in opposition to Saturn, marriage and business relationships can go through a crisis or even reach the final phase. Be careful not to succumb to the feeling of loneliness and depression. On days close to the new moon, it will be important to take care of our parents or elderly relatives, not to come into conflict with the superiors and representative of power, but rather to observe subordination, to act according to the legal methods. According to legal methods. It's also very important not to do too much physical work, to monitor the state of the cardiovascular system. July 22nd, the Sun enters Leo. Happy birthday, dear Leos. During the transit of the Sun through the sign of Leo, we will have the desire to shine, to be in the center of attention, and to show ourselves in any possible manner, right? July 27, Venus will be in square to Neptune. By the way, this is the third square of Venus-Neptune. The first took place when Venus was direct on May 6th. The second square was formed on May 20, when Venus was retrograde. Now, this is the third square Venus-Neptune that can create the illusion of wealth and prosperity. So we must be extremely careful about spending our spendings and refrain from rash spendings, because such a temptation will intensify around this aspect. The escape from brutal, hard, cruel reality in a world of fantasies, into the virtual world, imaginary world, self-deception, illusions, laziness, resentment without reason, alcohol and drugs, all this will be dangerous and could have negative consequences. The relationships with the husband or wife can suffer because of misunderstandings, unspoken thoughts, because of lack of sincerity, or because of dishonesty. Some of us may want to prove our love to the partner by showing dedication that borders sacrifice, and some of us may demand the same attitude from our partner towards us. But this aspect awakens at the same time artistic talents and the aesthetic perception of the world. So it would be good to go to the theater, to the exposition, to a concert, if it's possible, right? Otherwise, another solution is to stay in contact with the nature, or to meditate, to paint, to create, to decorate your house. And at the end of the month, we have two tense aspects of Mercury. Mercury opposition Jupiter and Pluto on the 30th of July and the 1st of August. So there will be many ideas, thoughts, and projects, but they may be not well developed, not enough. Avoid information distortion by drawing the right conclusions about the situations and about the behavior of other people. Well, if you pass exams, be extremely precise and clear in expressing your thoughts. But at the same time, unfortunately, Mercury will be in trine with Neptune on the 30th of July. This aspect will help to be more receptive to the interlocutor and to understand the essence of what is going on in communication. As perception will be refined, communication will acquire the supreme notes. Spiritual subjects will be discussed, will be addressed, and the aspect awakens also associative thinking and rich imagination. Mercury is trine Neptune. My friends, I had to pause my recording again because at the moment when I started the recording, it started raining heavily, the tropical rain, pouring. So maybe the two parts of the video are different, you know, in terms of light and the picture. So good luck for the full moon and the lunar eclipse, and I will go live on YouTube on July 15 with your Astro Tarot questions, answers, okay? Thank you very much for your attention. Talk to you very soon. Goodbye.